Hi everyone, it's Marisa from bumblebeeapothecary.com, and today I'm here to share what my husband eats in a day, and also we're going to talk about maintaining weight on gaps. So this has been a pretty highly requested video by quite a few of you, especially the different aspects of maintaining weight on gaps and all of that type of thing. So he has a pretty physical job that's very active. It requires a lot of calories, and so keeping enough weight on has been something that's kind of in our mind all the time. So we wanted to show exactly what he eats in a day, kind of a typical day of meals, and how much. So then after that, we're going to go into talking a bit about maintaining weight on gaps, because that can be a big challenge for a lot of people, and we each kind of have our own experience in different ways, different things that we've dealt with and things that we've learned and things that we figured out that help. So we'll talk about that at the end after I share the meals. So here we have breakfast. He usually has about 8 eggs and then 3 sausages, some sauerkraut, and pretty much every day he has milk kefir as well, usually 1 quart of milk kefir. For lunch, he's having dinner leftovers, which is what he typically does, something left over from the previous night's dinner. And here we have barbecue pork ribs and some carrot sticks with cucumber sticks. And then typically on a work day, he will also have a few slices of raw cheddar as well, either along with lunch or at a separate time, more for a snack. So I would say 3 to 5, maybe 6 good slices of this cheese also per day, either with lunch, like I said, or as snacks in addition to meals. Okay, so then this is dinner. So we are having tacos / taco salad for people who are not having tortillas. So you saw the portion sizes here, the amounts of meat. So we have our grass-fed ground beef with some seasoning, some garlic, onion, chili powder, salt, and then we have our raw cheddar shredded, some guacamole that we made with avocados, lemon juice, tomatoes, and some salt. And then we have fermented salsa and some lettuce and some sour cream. Some other things that I don't think we mentioned before that he also has during the day is lots of water, especially when he's working out in the heat. And to that he adds mineral salt and trace mineral drops for electrolytes. He also will have kombucha and sparkling mineral water with lemon juice. Also, some other things that I don't think we talked about were supplements. He has cod liver oil every day, usually in the morning, but not always. So Green Pastures fermented cod liver oil. And then also he likes to take a spoonful or 2 of virgin coconut oil daily. Again, usually in the morning, but not always. Sometimes he'll do it a different time of day. And then for dessert, we're having some homemade vanilla ice cream. And this is made with grass-fed cream, so again, lots of fat here. And this has lots of raw egg yolks in it as well for lots of nutrients. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about maintaining weight on gaps. So like I mentioned in the beginning, he has a very physically demanding job, and so that requires a lot of calories, a lot of food. And if somebody was eating more of a full Weston A. Price style diet that includes carbs and things like that, it can be kind of a little bit easier to include lots and lots of food that, you know, keeps you going, that's like quick energy, lots of carbs, things like that. Of course, a lot of fat would still be very important even if you were eating that way. But when you're on GAPS, things like potatoes and bread and grains and rice and all that kind of thing, starches, are not included. Maintaining weight and making sure that we feel satisfied and like we're eating enough and not losing weight is to, first of all, focus on plenty of fat and plenty of protein, and then not shy away from the GAPS-friendly carbs too. So do you have any idea how many calories you eat in a day? Have we measured that?
We have not measured that, but I'm sure it's quite typically over 4,000 calories.
I think we did maybe kind of keep track some years back, so I think that sounds pretty accurate. So around 4,000. So it's quite a bit. And as you saw in the meals, he does eat a lot. So, and then as you maybe saw, well, this is just one slice, just one day of meals, and it's a typical day. But of course, we eat a lot of variety. We try to have a variety of meats, a lot of variety in the vegetables, and just, you know, eat as widely as we can, because in full GAPS, you do have a lot of variety to choose from. The meals are typically going to include lots and lots of meat, kind of as that's really what the bulk of what you eat, right? Meat, eggs, cheese. We add a lot of fat to things, so lots of butter to cooked vegetables. But that's really what it boils down to, is lots of meat.
Butter to grease the pan.
Yeah, cooking in the fat. But that's really what it is. So it's really simple, but you can have enough variety to keep it interesting, which is really nice with changing up what meat you're having and what vegetables you're having with it. And of course the fats too can be varied, so you can do butter, lard, tallow, duck fat, goose fat, chicken fat, all those different kinds of things. Coconut oil you like to try to have on a regular basis too. You find that that helps quite a bit with energy and keeping you full and having enough calories too.
That was pretty important on the beginning part of the GAPS diet, was to make sure that you're well hydrated with fats. As you were starting out, first was some of the ghee, and moving into other things like eggs. Those are all quite fatty based protein foods.
So what you're talking about staying hydrated, I think, is when you're switching to eating higher fat, coming from a lower fat diet, is your body needs a lot of electrolytes and hydration to be able to make that conversion to be more fat burning instead of so carb burning. So that was something that you kind of experienced, being very thirsty, so needing to drink a lot of water, but most importantly switching over, or not switching, but including plenty of salt, good mineral salt and electrolytes, so that your body can make that switch. It's like going into ketosis, but I really like how Dr. Natasha talks about ketosis, where she says most people don't need to be, like, try to be in ketosis. Instead, she says that the body will decide to go in and out based on what it needs. And so you feed the body what it's asking for, what it needs, and then it will decide to go back and forth. So I don't know, if you're probably not in ketosis these days, I don't think.
I think it was 40 grams of carbs before your body goes into ketosis.
For you, maybe. I don't remember, because we did try the ketogenic diet a while back, and it did have some good benefits, I think, but we just found that it wasn't really necessary to be that hardcore sticking with being in ketosis all the time. So things that have helped you the most in feeling good and being able to think more clearly and get rid of brain fog and stuff is just doing GAPS in general, right? And then heavy metal chelation, which brought down the yeast load, which contributed to the brain fog in the past. And then
getting energy from fats.
Yeah, so eating lots of protein, lots of fat. And then, because in the past we would notice if you went off GAPS and you had something like, I don't know, a dessert at somebody else's house or something.
Too much sugar.
Yeah, then you would get brain fog and you wouldn't be able to think as clearly and remember things.
I would forget,
But then...
I couldn't go through my normal routine because the brain fog would get in the way.
Right. And then we noticed that after dealing with the heavy metals, which brought that yeast load down, you can occasionally come off GAPS, like for a birthday or something, and then you don't notice that so much. The
lingering effects.
Yeah, the brain fog doesn't come back and interfere with your memory and ability to think clearly and all that kind of stuff. So those are just some pieces and some things that we've noticed. So that's some of the stuff that we have learned for him that works for helping to maintain weight so that he is keeping on enough weight while on gaps and working at a very physical job. And this is going to depend a lot just on different people. Different people have to do different things. Some people, their problem is trying to lose weight, and Dr. Natasha has a fantastic section about that in her new blue book, Gut and Physiology Syndrome, in the chapter called Healing. That whole chapter is amazing, but she does specifically talk about weight in there, and that's super helpful. So that's where I would go if anybody is looking to lose weight. But in our case, it was more needing to gain weight, because if you remember, those of you who have been with me for a while and I've shared my GAPS healing story, I've talked about how back before GAPS, I could not keep weight on either. I was always underweight, and for the first time when doing GAPS intro and adding those raw egg yolks is the first time that my body actually was able to gain weight, and since then it's been no problem. So it could just be a matter of needing to seal the leaky gut and get those nutrients in so that your body can do what it needs to do and keep weight on. And since then I've, you know, gone through pregnancies and different things and just really listened to my body for different need for carbs at different seasons of life. That goes up and down depending on what I'm doing, but the need for lots of fat has always stayed constant. So I would say that that's probably an underlying factor for anybody wanting to normalize weight, is getting those fats to a healthy level. And then for people who are really physically active, it's going to also mean getting lots and lots of protein in, and usually for wanting to keep weight on, not shying away from those GAPS friendly carbs as well. So pumpkin, carrots, peas, the winter squashes, things like that. So that's kind of our experience with maintaining weight on GAPS, and things that we have found that helped us, and some things that I know just from my training as a certified GAPS coach. Alright, I hope that you guys found that interesting and helpful. If you have any more questions, make sure to leave a comment down below. And as always, keep your requests coming. I always really liked getting requests from you guys, so I know what kind of videos to make that you'd like to see. Be sure and check out that description box for links to free ebooks and other goodies. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else you think might find it interesting or helpful. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out new videos every week on nourishing recipes and natural living. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye. I feel like I should say something about the fact that you are happy and glad to be here even though you don't look like it, because people are gonna say something about that.
I don't know. I was just standing here. That was it.
I know. You know.
I'm not a movie star.
I know.
I'm just a specimen.